This is the PLUStainment Show, the excellent show where Jane Ellen and me, Matt Rappaport, come to you live and we talk.
Yes.
How's that?
And we talk about your favorite pop culture stuff.
Or the opposite.
Or stuff you hate. I mean, we try to hit on the stuff you hate.
I think that's the best thing to do.
All right, well then let's start with Dancing with the Stars because
I love
you know what? I
show.
would think. Have you ever actually watched an entire show?
An entire episode? No, I've seen pieces of it. That's
Okay. See, I would think you would dig it because of the girls in the skimpy outfits.
Oh, really? What are you trying to say about me? Oh my God, that's right. All right, you're right.
Yeah, I was trying to say that you would appreciate it.
I do like skimpy outfits or even like medium skimpy. I appreciate it. Although the thing about Dancing with the Stars is, all right, that's the whole problem with these shows. Stars. Are they all stars?
No, and that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant because
Yeah, like,
at this point on Dancing with the Stars, because I have watched almost all of the season, and I would just like to just come out and say that Maxim is my boyfriend, and that's really all I have to say. And
I don't even see. Is Maxim a singer?
No.
I don't even know who he is.
No, he's one of the Russian dancers.
Oh, you're talking about one of the dancers. So
yeah, but I'm just saying the professional dancers are now perhaps even of a higher level of celebrity than who's on it. I mean, it doesn't even matter at this point. And I have so many mixed feelings about the show, but I do enjoy it immensely. Because I actually trained for a ballroom thing for a Relay for Life event, and I did it for, I started in January, and the event was the first week of May, and, you know, and I didn't do the kind of training they did, where they're doing like 8 hours a day, which would be awesome. I was doing it and 3 hours a week for a few months. But still, I was also doing a 3.5-minute routine, not a 90 seconds for wusses.
Oh yeah, 90 seconds versus 3.5 minutes.
It is.
Yeah, 210 seconds.
I know, it's hugely different.
Did you realize though? Wait, they're on TV, so they only have so much time before they have to go to commercial.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so Jack Wagner. Most people know him from General Hospital and Melrose Place.
Most people, or people above a certain age?
I would say if you know him at all, that's what you know him from.
Okay. Would you say Dancing with the Stars really the demographic is everybody, or would you say it's an older demographic?
It depends, because it really depends on who they cast.
Oh.
Because they always throw in someone that someone younger will know. But it's probably a 25-54 female demo. But anyway, he is dancing with Anna, and Anna is a redhead. And she has been on many times before. She's gorgeous.
Please tell me more.
My boyfriend, Maxim, he is dancing with Melissa Gilbert. You know.
Former SAG president. I know her.
Yeah,
and Little House
on the Prairie and all that stuff.
Sarah...
No, it's Melissa Gilbert. Yes,
Melissa Gilbert. Melissa and Sarah are related
they are related,
life, right?
Yeah,
okay, they are cousins or sisters?
They're sisters.
Do they? Okay. They almost look nothing alike.
I want to say Sarah's adopted, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
No, I'm serious.
Nice.
And I don't know why that's in my head like that, but I could be totally off on that.
You could be totally on as well.
I could be on. Donald Driver, a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers.
Wait, can we stop for a second? Using the words wide receiver and Green Bay Packer.
Yeah.
A little sexual for me. Anyway. And he's actually a good athlete, but yeah.
I don't know what you're getting about that. You know, a lot of the football players, but usually they're not the wide ones. A lot of the athletes
the wide receivers.
Really well.
The weird thing is they're called wide receivers, but they're all skinny compared to the rest. Yeah. Tight ends.
You were saying he was wide. I thought you were telling me something that
I'm talking about
know.
Spreading out. What? In the field. Spreading out in the field is what I meant.
Oh, so he knows how to spread them.
He knows how to cover the entire field of play.
Oh.
Getting that.
Oh.
You made the sound. I can't make the sound. Kim Flowers, hey. Henry A. Otero, Thorben Groff, and Jacob Chappelle. I'm sorry I didn't have time to Google goo.gl or bit.ly, that huge video player link, because I wanted to get the show started. But they're like, oh my God, it's a huge link.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Sherry Shepherd. Oh, I do like a huge link. Sherry Shepherd, who's now on The View and has been on 30 Rock, she has my boyfriend's brother as her partner.
And I saw for 2 seconds when I went to pick up my dog, who was at the vet, they had this show called The Revolution, which I don't know if people watch it, but it was on, and Sherry Shepherd was there, and this guy was showing her how to. I feel like every time Sherry Shepherd's on TV, it's like, hey, Sherry, this is how you should eat better. But she's a diabetic, right? Shouldn't she know how to eat better? Anyway, she was training.
How many diabetics do you know?
I don't know. I guess there's a lot of diabetics out there, right?
No.
Yeah.
How many do you know and interact with?
My dad is diabetic, but that's
okay.
about. I guess there's at least one person I know on Google Plus that I interact with. I won't mention her name publicly, but she's on Hangout Conversations. Yeah, why do you ask that? Just
because I mean I know a great many, and some really deal with it in one way, and others do not.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah, not everybody takes care of it. Yeah, but it's different. She's on TV and she has all these people, whatever. I mean, I've seen her lose weight, gain weight, but yeah. So I thought it was interesting how they focused in on her, and they showed her doing her little practice with the guy's brother, I guess. And, I mean,
yeah, his brother's not bad to practice with either, really.
Your other boyfriend.
I wouldn't kick him out of bed unless he wanted to do it on the floor.
Unless he wanted to dance, maybe. Wow. This is the Sextainment Show.
Gavin DeGraw. Do you remember Gavin DeGraw?
Is he a country singer?
No, he's a rock singer.
No, is he?
Gavin DeGraw is dancing with Karina.
You can see how much I pay attention.
Okay. Martina Navratilova.
Tennis player.
Yes.
Hey, do you...
Yes, I'm going to say Grand Slam. She won 59 Grand Slam.
Like a Grand Slam breakfast, you mean, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I need.
59 is a lot. She ate them all. But I was going to ask, so do you find, like, age or size of the person makes a difference? Because Kirstie Alley was decently big, and she did pretty well, right?
Yes, and she lost a lot of weight. It really depends on their ability to learn. If you can learn choreography, if you can learn something and remember it and have body memory, then you can do it. But if you can't grasp the choreography and if you can't really let loose on the dance floor, you're not going to do it. See, some of them are great personality-wise, and they're just really entertaining to watch, but they just don't get it. They don't have the polish. They can't hit their marks. Some of them, for instance, they've had some people, I want to say maybe one of the Playboy Hefner chicks from the reality show, whatever it's called. She was gorgeous. She could not dance at all. I mean, she looked great, and you couldn't teach her a thing. And I mean, she didn't get anywhere. I mean, she stayed like 2 weeks. But she not only could she not dance, she just was not entertaining. She seemed like a really nice girl. She looked great. She just wasn't. She didn't have anything worth watching other than she looked great. But then you had other people who are entertainers, and they either perform or they learn the steps and they perform. So you always have somebody like Jerry Springer stayed on a long time because he did learn and he entertained, and George Hamilton entertained. And you usually have an older man. Cloris Leachman entertained, and she knew how to learn. And she was probably the oldest one that's been on there. So it really depends. And so you got to see them. And the sports figures, honestly, it does depend. Sometimes you can spot them right away.
Was Cloris Leachman was older than Buzz Aldrin?
Maybe not. Maybe that was the last time I watched it, and I thought it was cool.
That guy went to the moon, and that was
he did.
That was like
but
40.
Still, you got to see who it was. I mean, some of them are just so good immediately. They're immediately good, and others are not. Others are just like, wow. But then what I get excited about, and that's the basis of the show, is you teach someone who's had no background in it at all, and you teach them what are really complicated dances. and you take someone who sucks, and you make them...
Wait, can you do that again? I want the exact, because that was awesome. Let's do that.
You take someone who sucks, and you make them decent. You make them not feel like a jerk when they go on the dance floor. And I think that is a huge accomplishment. And I get a kick out of that.
I had to take some dancing. I was a theater major, and some of that, we did some ballroom dancing and did all that stuff. And, like, I just put my personality in it, and I got close to the rhythm and the steps. But, you know, I had to do, sometimes if I could never get past the beginner class. I didn't want to, because once you get to beginner 2, then it's like, that's where most of the real dancers start, or
the
whatever.
real dancers.
The real dancers, beginning 1. So I took beginner 1 over and over again, and I was like, you know, usually one of the only guys, or straight guys, and it was like terrifying. And they would make me come up with my own dance if it was my first time doing
horrible.
it,
Yeah.
and I would have to dance in front of the whole class. And for me, it was more about performing. Like, I just try to, like, make it interesting and funny. Like, at one point during tap class, I, like, made this thing where I was telling a story where it was Billy Joel, She's Got Away playing, and I was kind of like, looks like I was tapping my way to meeting a girl, like a date, and then she didn't show up, so I got all mad, and the music switched to Alanis Morissette, like You Oughta Know, and I was stomping with my tap shoes, and then it went back to She's Got Away, like she showed up again, and I was like, oh, I tried to make it up to her for getting all angry for no reason. So it was like it was a performance piece more than a dance.
I won't go through the rest of them, but the other 2 names you'll know, Gladys Knight is on.
She's a
and yeah, and yes, he will always be known as Urkel. Jaleel White.
Jaleel. I think Jaleel would probably win. And the thing about Jaleel is you can't be on that show and he's like, they're going to be talking like this and not go, did I do that? Like, he's going to have to. It's ABC. They're going to want to hear it. He's going to have to say it, right?
You know, if they ever do a jive, they're going to have him wear a goofy outfit and do that. Whenever I watch it, I'll go, oh, God, the quick step, just kill me now. I don't ever want to have to do a quick step with anybody.
That's terrible.
So, yeah, that's it. I just get the biggest kick. And then I'll watch the Elton John I'm Still Standing video just so I can see Bruno in his Speedo, because he's in that video and it cracks me up. He's in a Speedo and a chauffeur's hat, and he's snapping. He's in that video. It's very funny.
Nice. So do you think Dancing with the Stars, does it do better than American Idol, or?
You know, actually, I don't know. I haven't really paid attention. They try not to go head-to-head too much, like 1 hour will cross over each other. But irrelevant. I record them both.
But, yeah, so, I mean, to me, reality shows are okay, but I mean...
See, those are competition shows to me. Not like they're following them home. Now, that would be interesting.
Well, they do go into the practice room with them, and they talk to them.
Yes, and you know that there are things that are set up. But for the most part, they still have to learn it, and they still have to perform it.
Right. But the only place I was going was the idea that because these shows are such mega hits, and they're cheap to make, these are the kind of shows that are being made and being put out there, and you know, they're kind of like the lowest common denominator because, sure, they're singing, they're dancing, that's all nice and everything, but there's not like, it's not really comedy drama. They set up a little bit of tension. But
correct.
The tension's more on, like American Idol, it's like, dim the lights,
oh yeah,
play the music.
I hate that on any reality show.
Yeah,
and they play this stupid music.
Yeah, and they'll be like, we'll be right, we'll have the results when we come back.
Great.
Like, like, all right, and then I'll hit fast forward. All right.
Thank God.
Thank God for the DVR.
That's what I love to tell my kids. Like, you know what? When I was a kid, we had to watch commercials, and they'll go, no! It's like, yes, we couldn't pause television. No.
You couldn't pause television. You had to get up and turn the TV off. You had to get to the couch.
We're listening to satellite radio, and they're like, back it up. Can you play that song again? Can you just back it up? It's like, no, I can't do that. What do you mean?
Back it up.
Back it up, Mom. Back that up. And they were talking about the song. Thank you very much.
Whoa. Hello.
All right, now there's one other thing that we need to touch on for today's show, and I'm sorry, 2 things. We'll start about my little story, and then we'll finish up with your show, and then you can do your conversation.
I heard you might have met somebody.
Yes, I had a surprise meeting today.
Someone that has long hair, maybe?
Yeah.
Unless you got a haircut.
Well, it's about as long as mine. I got to meet Sean Bean today. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. And for those who don't know, in my opinion, best film death ever, Boromir, Fellowship of the Ring.
Spoiler alert!
Oh, come on. What was that, 2001?
Space Odyssey, yeah, I don't know. I still say, yeah, Titanic, 99. It's like, it sinks. What? Yeah. Everyone knows that, though.
No, so I said that when it first came out, and I was doing a radio show, and this girl called me up, and she was so mad at me. You ruined that movie for me. It happened in 1912. You don't know the
ruined the history. Now, had you said Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, they bound chicka wow, that would that really have ruined? I could have told you that before the movie too. So.
Oh, I didn't tell her that. I just said the Titanic. It stinks. She was so angry. I'm sure she's still stalking me around.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in Lord of the Rings that we didn't give away. One ring to rule them all. But so you got to meet Sean.
Yeah, I got to meet Sean Bean, and he's in Mirror. Yes, it was in a hangout. Fox 11 in LA. Thank you, Shaka. Shaka always sees that I'm in on the good ones, and we had great fun. And I got to meet Spartacus from Spartacus. What is his name? Liam McIntyre. And I was very upset because usually people do whatever I say, and they were goading me. And so, seeing as he is practically nude through most of the show, I said I really needed him to take his shirt off. And he laughed and didn't do it. I guess he thought I was joking. I wasn't joking. No, I sure wasn't. But then again, I guess you don't want to take your shirt off in front of like 8 guys who you're not an actor with, because then you feel like an idiot. But still, he was delightful. And he's actually on Google+.
Wow. Is it him that's on Google+?
No, he actually is. He says he is on Google+. He keeps his own circle.
Well, let's test that theory right now, Sean. The shower.
No, not Sean Bean. No, I switched to Spartacus.
My bad.
I switched to Kyle.
I was more excited about Sean.
Yeah, I would have been excited. Kyle McIntyre, is it? Kyle?
MC or MAC? MC.
I would have to pay closer attention. He was quite delightful to talk to.
Delightful. I see Kyle McIntyre, University of Wisconsin. Probably not SRI National. All right, we'll have to figure that out later.
Yeah, we'll find him. Anyway,
So tell us some of the questions that Sean Bean did answer or were asked.
Well, I did ask him because he's killed off in almost everything he's in, and he was just killed off. And
spoiler! Don't. Maybe people might not have seen it. You think we should? All right, whatever. All right.
Well, he already knew it because he knew the story. He knew the character. The character gets killed off.
Yeah.
He was just killed off in the show that he's been in. Okay, so if you don't, I just want to the show. How about that?
All right. No, I because honestly, when I watched it in a marathon 2 or 3 months ago, and I had no idea that this happened. So when it happened, I was like, they did that. So
yeah.
I was like,
well, I said when you're handed a script because you've died so many times on film, do you just immediately go to the end and find out if you live or not? And he said, actually, I do flip over. And I said, and if you do live, do you hand it back and say, I don't think this is my script?
Yeah, but the other thing too is that he had to go through he basically, when they did kill him, it was basically the second to last episode or something, so he didn't get that script for a while, so he had no idea.
Death ever. Well, he knew it was coming. He knew his contract was just for a year, so he knew.
Oh, then he knew that. He must have thought that was weird.
He just didn't know when.
But it's the weirdest. It was a big thing. HBO didn't even know, and I think that the weirdest thing. All right, Game of Thrones. The weird thing is that he was the star of that show. He was the name. He was, and now not. So it was a ballsy move. Ballsy move, and but the other thing too is that The Walking Dead, which we'll get to as well, which was a comic book, and this was based on a novel, Ice and Fire. They could change stuff, so they could be like, you know what? Even though he dies here, let's let him live. They do it all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, are you going to do a Walking Dead hangout after this?
Yeah, I was going to do a day after Dead, is what I'm calling it, because the finale was yesterday, and I was supposed to do it last night, but I was so tired I was driving back. I am an uncle, so call me Uncle Matt if you want to.
Say uncle.
Uncle! I have a beautiful baby nephew whose name's Simon Jesser. Simon because of the Chipmunks? No. Actually, the greatest thing is
because of Cow.
Yeah, that one. Baker, who you probably love too. The Mentalist. We never talk about that show.
Oh, I could talk about him all day.
Uh-oh. Yeah, but they actually named him after my grandmother, which is really awesome.
Her name is Simon?
Yes. No, her name is Sylvie, but that was that's what they went with. And Jesser, I guess, I found out Jesser was, I Googled it, and it's something with Star Wars and Wookiees, but it turns out that wasn't why they used Jesser. Jesser was the maiden name of my sister-in-law's father's mother.
Go with the Star Wars thing. It's a lot funnier.
A lot funnier with Star Wars, yeah. But she's like, I can't believe you thought we named our baby after Star Wars. Like,
why not?
I don't know. My brother, he loves all that stuff. So I named the baby Seven. Soda. Seven. Soda.
They stole my name.
They stole my name. Seven. But I bought my nephew an S so he could.
You know, I met someone who named their kid Seven, and I said, "Oh, you're a huge Seinfeld fan?" And they said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Like,
no, it's
what?
Yeah, because of Mickey Mantle, right?
No, they just liked the number.
Oh.
Like, you serious? Wow, that kills me.
How can you be so serious? So
Yeah.
So that was awesome to get to hang out with Sean Bean and Kyle McIntyre. And Shaka, you want to give a little plug to Shaka, and she's on every week and people can watch? My bad.
Well, he pretty much sets everything up, and he was wonderful. But you have to know him to get. You can watch the Hangout as it streams, but he has to know you to invite you in because of who they have on and things like that. So you don't do anything too crazy.
So you're not wacko. But there's a woman on Fox. I thought it was a woman on Fox who also has celebrities too, right? Like,
I'm sure.
Christian Slater was someone was talking about.
It could have been Lauren Sanchez. It could have been Maria.
Maria, I think, has.
Yeah, Maria is usually there. Tony was there because Maria is out this week, but we just had a big old time.
Google Plus is interesting in that way. There's a lot of, Sarah Hill and Angie Belly, they were doing it with Como News, and a couple other people doing it in the beginning, and now there's all these different news stations popping in, sort of doing it. Good Morning America or Today Show or both tried doing it. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's pretty much
everyone's doing it. We'll wrap up soon. Oh, let's get to Idol. I didn't watch it. You said that this week they did the year they were born.
They did the year in which they were born.
And so they were all born in 1990?
No, I think the youngest was 95.
What?
Yeah, and Jennifer Lopez said, ouch, when that came through, and I was thinking the same thing. Wow, 95.
No, she didn't quite say it like that. She probably was like, ouch.
Yeah, pretty much. And I just, the year in which they were born, I understand that they only have some songs that they can choose from. And so I get that, and I understand why some of the songs are recycled and other artists, songwriters don't let them use their songs. It's just, it gets so ponderous sometimes. Or they simply do not know the other songs, and so they're going with something that they simply know, because in order to deliver the performance, they don't want to have to memorize it. Maybe that's where they're coming from. Or, sometimes people are advised one way or the other.
Well, they do, yeah, so they do try to do songs they know. That's what you just said, right? I'm just trying to find more people that are tuning in so I don't miss their stuff. But, what was the best song or the most interesting song choice that you remember?
Philip Phillips did something I really liked, and he closed the show. And now I'm trying to remember which song it was, but first of all, whenever I see his name, it's like, really? It's like naming someone Chris Christopher. It's like, really? Philip Phillips? Really? That's what they came up with? Are you like one of 15 kids? Philip Phillips? I don't know, I get so...
Is that his real name?
That's his name. And I get so stuck on his name, I have blanked out the song that he did, but he did a really good job. I'm such an idiot. I just totally forgot. But he has a very interesting delivery, and everything he does, he's the kind of guy where you either like how he sounds or you loathe him. Yeah, there's really no middle ground.
Kind of like how I feel about Dancing with the Stars. No, I'm just kidding.
Honestly, I don't know why you don't watch it. Some of these girls wear practically nothing.
Yeah, but
Some
that's
of the
not a
guys
reason
were
to watch a
practically
TV show for me. Not at age 33 point something. But I hear you. So, yeah, and so, I don't know. How many people are left? 12? 10?
I watched her. I don't know. I haven't paid
know.
that close. You know, unless Nathan's on, I just kind of go,
Do you make the sound effect while you do that too?
Yeah, I do.
As to your TV watching.
eh.
So what happened? So what happened with Jermaine? So Jermaine Jones, who's no longer on the show.
Yeah.
Tall dude,
That
sounds
was
like
kind
Barry
of
White.
weird. Yeah, he does have an extraordinary voice, and I love his voice. His singing voice. He's very much has the Gomer Pyle thing going on, where he talks one way and sings another.
Right.
And they sit him down on something that's prearranged and say, well, you didn't tell us this. We could have helped you if you told us. Well, who knows if they could have. I don't know.
Right. Or they would have said from the get-go,
yes.
Sorry, goodbye.
And they talked about, that he has changed his name a few times and that he was in a fight. And he goes, well, it wasn't really a fight. And he didn't address the name changes, and he didn't really address anything. And they said, you have to leave the show. And that was it. It was just weird.
What, now, I saw the articles. Did they actually on television take a moment to even address it? Or no, they did.
Yes.
And so that was this week they did that, or last week? I don't remember.
It was last week.
Last week. And so was it just Ryan physically saying something?
Yeah, he started out by saying, and someone's off the show. Sometimes we have to bring in the police and have someone removed from the show, and that's what we did. And I guess it was about halfway in, they bring Jermaine in and sit him on the couch. So you can, let people go through and go, okay, well, it's not them. They're still on the show. They performed. And then they played about 30 seconds of what he would have sung, and it sounded great because he sang in rehearsal. So they let him go performance day, as I grasped.
So wait, they played his rehearsal piece on the day?
A few seconds of it, not the whole thing.
Was it good?
Oh, it was great.
And so, I mean, would it have been such a big deal to keep him? I mean, just because he has a record or whatever, is that really? Is it because you can't be an American Idol and have been arrested?
Yes.
Is that
that's the rule.
Well, can't they make something like American, like not not perfect?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, Ron Howard, don't speak to him, or Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner? Ron Howard?
Ron Jeremy? What?
Ronald Duck, Donald's oft forgot brother. What? Well, Jermaine Jones, you sound like you should be in the Michael Jackson family somehow. Jermaine Jackson, contact him and see if you guys. Do you think Jermaine Jones and Jermaine Jackson should do like a record together, or make called the two Jermaines?
No.
No, that's a bad idea. That is why I don't produce records. Thank you very much.
You're an idiot.
He's the only other Jermaine I know, and I like saying Jermaine. It sounds like a plant. No offense to you out there. I mean, I guess Jermaine is the I don't know how to the PC way to say it, so I won't. All right, but I was gonna say something of Jeremy. But anyway.
All right. Well then, I have to leave you so you can do your Walking Dead show.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I know. Well, we've talked quite a bit, and
you can leave me. Just give me like 3 or 4 minutes. Now before you go.
Yes.
You out of the you watched the first episode, the pilot of The Walking Dead.
Yes, I did.
I saw that a while ago now. So you watched it. I don't know if you watched it for me. If you did, thank you. If you watched it for yourself, if you watched it for the and then they're having
watched it for the world.
For the world, for everyone out there. So give me your impressions, your thoughts.
It was slow to get into, and about 20 minutes into it, I thought, oh my God. Get this moving. Give me some zombies here. Do something. And by the end of it, it was in a much better place.
Were you hooked by the end? You were like,
oh yeah, I could totally have sat through and just watched show after show after show at that point.
Yeah,
you had to sit through the first 20 minutes because I was not that engaged.
So I will say there's a lot of people on the internet that think not just the first season, but also was parts of the second season that were slow. And me personally, I don't mind. Like, I'm such a patient watcher. Like, to me, slow is like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That is slow.
Right. That is really slow because.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that slow.
Well, exactly. So for me, I have a much bigger tolerance unless there's no payoff. If it's slow and there's a payoff, I can deal with it. Like, a lot people probably think Silence of the Lambs is slow. So I mean, it just depends on what.
I didn't think that was slow.
No. But I mean, it just depends. Everyone has a different idea. But so what was your favorite part? Like, did you have any favorite characters?
No, not yet.
Okay, I will say that.
However, I did terrorize my kids when we walked around the block, and I chased after them like a zombie and freaked them out, and I dragged my feet and did the arms.
Did you flip your eyelids too?
Okay, no, because that's disgusting. But I did bother them with the whole zombie. They play zombie tag, by the way. That's a new thing.
Can you have them take a picture of you doing your zombie so we can see it next week?
Sure.
If you do it again, that would be awesome. That sounds really cool. So, yeah, we're going to do Day After the Dead next, and we'll talk more about the finale of the show. But did you... Now, there are characters. There are characters. There are characters, and one of them takes his shirt off. And when he takes his shirt off, you will not be disappointed if you get that far.
Oh, so you won't watch Dancing with the Stars for the girls, but you notice the guy who takes his shirt off in Walking Dead. I see.
That's sure. Exactly it. Or I noticed it for you, so you could see it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
let's see where you're headed with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There was a very specific scene that they specifically spent time, a soul cleansing thing. So, but
it was soul cleansing. All right.
Soul cleansing. Yeah. But there aren't. It's pretty. There's pretty hard to get sexual when there's zombies all around. I mean, it's like there's not much time. Although they do make time for it, but.
Now, are there any human zombie sex scenes?
I did make a post about that at one point earlier in the Plus. You could probably put zombie sex Rappaport and you'll see a disgusting zombie sex picture, but
not actually in this show.
Not in this show. There's no zombies having...
Because I would think that would be hard to do, what with things falling off and whatnot.
Well, also because they want to eat brains. That's what they're looking to do.
And not everyone wants their brains eaten.
Right. Although they will be eating heads, so I guess that's kind of like sex, in a sense. Except you'll die twice.
So it's like a praying mantis thing.
Yeah, It's pretty bad. And I know we didn't cover. I know Alcatraz said was so, and that I think that I didn't watch Celebrity Apprentice, so I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I know George Rodenbaugh says, "I don't care about Walking Dead. I want to find out if Lou Ferrigno got fired." That's my Rodenbaugh. I don't know if you know who that is, but
he's great. He's
great. He has to be on. He has to. We have to catch up with Celebrity Apprentice. We'll get George on as the Celebrity Apprentice expert. It'll be like, something like that. So I invitated Ryan Mitzickle and George Rodenbaugh, and I'm living to tell about it. PLUStainment Show, Jane Ellen. Thank you. Closing thoughts. Dancing with the Stars. You want to promote it more? You can.
No, I'm just waiting for them to call me because I think I'm a low enough level to actually qualify.
Oh, bam! And that's the Celebrity Apprentice as well. I'm sure that they have.
And I don't want to do that. I just want to be with Maxim. I mean, dance with Maxim. That's all.
And there was that one show that I don't know.
Bandcamp.
There was that one show. I don't know if it's VH1. Yeah, Bandcamp, where they put a bunch of celebrities in a house and just kind of hung out. Gary Coleman or was on it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What was that show? That was like way back. That was before. And Dancing with the Stars, and they were all just in a house together.
I don't remember what it was.
They were just like in a house together, and they were hanging out, being silly. They were doing like they ate sushi off a naked girl and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And I actually watched it, and I kept thinking, why am I watching this?
Because it's on TV.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, now I know better. You know what? I had erased that from my memory, and you brought it back.
Oh, you're welcome. Because if Corey Feldman's in anything, I have to watch it because it just makes me think of the 80s and my childhood. I watched the two Coreys. I know I should be shot for that, but I did.
That's so sweet.
Well, and then he died, so I felt like, all right, at least I gave him some numbers.
Yeah.
Before he went.
That was nice.
And he got to hang out with Corey Feldman's pal Michael Jackson. So.
That was nice too. Well, Sean Bean is going to call me, so I need to be available.
All right, so go be available for Sean Bean and his. He doesn't really have a head anymore, so.
And his kingliness.
His kingliness is gone. And Game of Thrones, April 1st. We have someone. April 1st is not that far away. Game of Thrones premieres and The Killing. I don't know if you watch that. I do. That premieres. So those 2 shows, big shows. A lot more coming up. Probably a lot of movies. And Jane Ellen, you're lovely. Your hair is lovely.
Thanks,
I
Ever.
will see you next Monday, hopefully.
Next week.
March 26th. I will be. My nephew gets his thing snipped on Friday. So I'll be away Thursday to Saturday watching that happen. And hopefully my guest on Wednesday, not Thursday, will be the lovely Heather Faye.
Excellent.
Singing.
All right. Well, then I will see you then.
Thank you, Jane Ellen. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye. PLUStainment Show's over.